Yo, brother, it's time for us to start talking the real, man. We've been sugarcoating too much. We've got to start calling everything out for what it is.
Hey guys, I can't believe it's been only a week since I received the A2, and now I have another new wheel in the house, the Commander Mini. I'm really excited for this wheel. First, a big shout out to Liam from EUC Underground, who has provided me this wheel for extensive testing along with the A2. Again, see the description for killer deals, discount deals, and all the current EUCs coming out. Now, I've tried to avoid getting updated information on this Mini, besides what I saw maybe a couple months ago when it first started, signs of it first started appearing. So I'm not sure what the exact configuration of this wheel is right now. I think it's going to be the most powerful small suspension wheel that you can buy, and that's what really and then plus with the construction, if it's like the Commander Pro, which I love, that kind of a unibody construction. Everything's protected, the batteries. What's in here? We have another jacket. Cool. I already have one of those. Spec sheet. Product size 17-inch. Usual stuff. 134 volt wheel. I love it. 3200 watt C38 high torque motor. Killer. 2400 watt hour battery. That's another thing which I love. On a small wheel like this to have such a huge battery. This looks like a mud guard. Interesting. Usual, we've seen plenty of these with the fuses. I have no idea what this is for. A wrench with some screws. Some power pads. Interesting. They have Velcro installed. That's new. No double-sided sticky tape. Like a front bumper, I guess, with, again, Velcro. I'm kind of liking the idea of Velcro. American power cord. I think that's it. Let's get this out. All right, let me pull in the camera. All right, I've turned on the wheel and we've done a preliminary inspection, and now we're going to go through all the goodies. And I'm going to go through the bad part first. Here are the charge ports. They're off center, and this rubber piece that's holding this in is inside the charge port, this charge port, so you wouldn't even be able to plug it in if you wanted to. So that's unfortunate. I'm going to have to open up the top, but that'll provide us some information on how things look inside, and hopefully I'll be able to adjust this. Hopefully it's not damaged inside. Now let's take a look at the top. This top panel, everything on this wheel looks like it's metal as far as I can tell, except for this top part. Looks like a real tough plastic, which is translucent, as I think you can see. There's a red and blue light that changes over here. This is really nice. Finally a display. It looks like you'll be able to read it. Slightly raised. The power button and lift button are rubberized. Of course, the charge port cover is rubberized, and it's a lip, and these are recessed, so if this is on, there's no way water is going to get into this thing. So when I remove this cover to fix this issue, we'll see if there's any gaskets in here, or if, how waterproof this part is. This is the back. The light, rear light, much better than the Commander Pro. It's a flush mounted kind of a strobe effect red, no blues, which is good. Looks like it's going to be very visible. Metal interior mudguard, just like the shipping Commander Pros. This is the mudguard, and this bag that had little screws, those are for attaching the mudguard here. Now I have to say that actually, although very simple, this is the kind of mudguard I actually have on my Shermans. Very effective, pretty much indestructible, looks wide. It'll probably be a very effective mudguard, simplicity. Metal everywhere in this guy. This whole wheel exudes quality. It's V13 type quality, except V13 had a lot more plastic. Cases, or the battery cases, are metal inside, outside, look totally protected. Once you put some pads on this guy, it's just, and then I'm not sure exactly what function this serves. I guess you could say it's protection, but you know, you could 3D print rubber or other parts to put on here. But all these attachment points for accessories, I absolutely love it. Really nice, and everything's attached with screws. Let's take a look at the side. Beautifully flush panels to install whatever you want on this side. Guy, it's great. QC issues, these screws are, this one anyway is a little loose, so I'll go through and just check the tightness of all these guys. It's got the same pedals, looks like that was on the Commander Pro, which I really like. The tensioning, beautiful. Again, metal everywhere. They provide a sheet of Velcro to attach the side. It's kind of a, doesn't feel like the highest quality of Velcro, but I'm going to install it, and obviously very easy to change if it wears out. And the pads that they provided, again, pre-installed Velcro. So this would go somewhere like this. I will install this and try it, but most likely I am going to change to these Grizzly flow pads, the small flow pads, which I've been hanging on to, and looks like maybe I found the perfect wheel for these guys. But I will try these first. And then this back piece, which is kind of weird, goes over here, and this provides your braking pad. I'm not sure about this. I will try it, of course, but again, I'm probably just going to switch over to the Grizzlies. But it's beautiful, that one big panel to install whatever you want on the side. Love it. Here is the shock adjustment. This top knob, which you can easily get to with your fingers, is for adjusting the rebound. So when I put it to full rebound, basically you had no rebound, or rebound was extremely slow. So I backed off 4 or 5 clicks, and it seems pretty good. So that should be easy to adjust. And then this that they gave you fits in here and allows you to adjust let's see, which way did it go here? I believe this is compression. Let's see, I'm trying to... There, loosen it. So I'm going to just leave it the way it was, which is full compression. We'll see how it goes, but I can play around with that. So as best I can tell, there's just 2 adjustments. On the Commander Pro, you had this, you had these small knobs for here, and then this, you had this large socket wrench that you had to carry with you if you wanted adjustment. But once you adjust these, you never have to adjust them again. Here's the front, which looks very much like the back, except you've got the kickstand bumpers, kind of like the Commander Pro, but much better. I'll show you that in a second. This is the headlight, which is adjustable. It's got 2 screws that you can loosen or tighten, so I loosen up just a little bit so I can adjust the angle. And these things look to be extremely bright, but unfortunately probably very blinding too. But again, the same attachment points for whatever you might want to put in the front, which is really cool. Again, I just love the construction of this guy. Let me show you the headlight. Very interesting. Strikingly rectangular, and I'm not sure what the objective is, having the yellow on the bottom and the white at the top. I have looked at this from a distance, and it does look like it's very capable of blinding people unless you point the light down. So it's not a particularly focused light, I don't think. And here's the blinkers. So if you guys have an idea what's up with the two colors, comment below. All right, let me show you this kickstand. Double click the lift button. This thing is extremely stable, the way they've splayed those guys out in the front. So fantastic. And this has a more traditional trolley handle. Now, it does not feel like the strongest trolley handle. It's kind of typical of what you're getting, which we've been getting for so long. I don't know why they can't make these like this, the CNC, just really beefy metal. But it looks like it'll be functional, well protected in the back, out of the way. It doesn't look like it'll be in the way if we want to put seats on this guy, which I'm sure we will. So typical kind of back like the old days, which I'm not. Sometimes it's easier to pull your wheel like this through a store with this kind of a trolley handle. You guys like to have a handle to grab on to brake? Look at the handle they gave us. Solid metal. Again, beautiful. And basically rounded edge. They're not rounded, but they're chamfered. So none of these feel hard on my hands at all. This looks like absolutely beautiful handle for grabbing and braking, and potentially, again, so many places to attach stuff. Again, I just love, by and large, mostly I love all the attention to detail and all the metal on this wheel. One additional thing to show you on the top is they've provided one of these, which is kind of like the Commander Pro. Goes right there, covers everything. A little soft protection for your leg, and again, closes this area up. and it attaches with Velcro, and they gave you a Velcro strip to attach here. So very nice. Okay, let's open up this top, see if I can fix the charge ports. Okay, good screws. They're not using wood screws up here. Oh, interesting. Okay. So there is a rubber gasket that this presses up against all the way around, and it's sticking up above here, except for this one little spot where the two parts don't join up, and you could put some little silicone in there. It looks like it's nicely sealed. Very nice. So as far as getting this thing to work, unfortunately, it's crooked. So I'm going to have to undo these spacers, 4 screws, and hopefully that'll loosen up enough I can tweak this charge board and then get it straight. And I'll pull in the camera and give you a closer look at the inside of here. Okay, once I loosened these 4 post screws, I was able to twist this and tighten everything up, and now these perfectly align, so that's good. But again, it's kind of what we expect, right, with Begode Extreme Bow wheels. The QC is not quite there. I mean, they did all this, then they slapped this guy on, and no one bothered to look to see if they aligned, or this rubber piece got trapped inside here when they screwed it down. But now, I don't know if you can see, but now it's going to line perfectly, and now this seal is really nice. And the electronics look pretty good, pretty clean. It has speakers. Like they're this time the speakers are pointing down into the shell. See how they sound. I don't really use speakers myself, but here's the beeper pointing down. Looks like this looks like the typical Begode power distribution board configuration. Anyone who has a Begode wheel will, everything here looks, it's Begode. Only difference is this section with the speakers. But yeah, clean wiring, beautiful compared to the Commander Pro. And I tell you guys, this gasket material, and you can tell when you're putting the cover on, it presses against here. I do feel confident in saying this wheel is rainproof. Trolley handle is outside of the control board area. Everything is well gooped. Looks like there's with the battery cables coming in from outside. Looks fantastic. I really like it. All right, I put the stock pads on, and I'm going to rip them off. I just don't like them. They're too stiff, and they're not nearly adjustable enough. At some level, they would function, of course, but I think anyone who's going to buy this kind of a wheel, you're going to pay a little extra and buy some custom pads, aftermarket pads that you really like. For me, I'm going to be putting on the Grizzla flow pads. I think these are going to be working great. One other comment about the Velcro they provided, it's about as bad as I thought it was going to be. When you're adjusting this, the Velcro wants to come off the side. it's just crappy adhesive. And then they didn't include Velcro on the bottom parts of the front pads, so I had to add my own Velcro to that. I highly recommend this Velcro brand industrial strength Velcro. I buy these by the boxes from Amazon. Highly recommend it. I'll put a link down below in the description. What's industrial about this is not the actual Velcro material, but that is higher quality than this. But it's the adhesive that they use that's industrial strength. Incredibly grippy. Highly recommend this. So I'm going to rip off these and put the grizzles on, and then I'll take it outside. It's dark right now. Just show you what it looks like at night with these lights. Before I go outside, I do want to show you a couple other things of note. Is it looks like the pedals can be raised by, I don't know, maybe half an inch, 12 millimeters, something like that. So I don't know if I will experiment with that. They seem pretty good right now, but we'll see. And this is the final thing. These two rods which are coming out the bottom, they look like they could be adjusted. I'm not going to adjust them. I have no idea what they're for. They just have a couple of slots here. They do not move with the suspension, so they're just hanging out down here in the wind. Obviously, this looks like a potential damage point, like not good at all. I think what I'm going to do later is just cut a piece of foam and double stick it down here. That will cover these, provide some kind of protection. Really odd, because definitely this to me seems like it could be a great trail wheel. That's what I'm kind of looking forward to, playing with it. And these really have a potential of getting knocked. Just reminds me of like the In Motion series of wheels. So not ideal. One other item before I go outside and show you the lights in the dark. You can see I have the Grizzly pads installed, and half of them are hanging out in the air in the back, which is really going to be an issue with any kind of pads because this is just not very wide. So I think what I might ultimately end up doing is fabricating a thin 1/8 inch board, something real thin, double stick it to the side of this guy and have it come out, extend farther so that the pads have a little better, more material grip on. As it is, they're really not going anywhere, but I don't know, it just kind of looks odd having them floating in the air. Sorry, I keep thinking of things to show you. The tire, by the way, 80/90-12. It's a 16 by 3.15. I don't read Chinese, so I don't know what it says. Nylon H969. Here's the brand in Chinese. It says tubeless, but this definitely has a tube inside. So there you go. Okay, here we are, very dark outside, and one thing I want to point out is when you look down at the wheel, you're blinded. For some reason they add these holes. I'll show you after this inside one, but it lets the light out so it blinds you when you look down. So I'll be covering those with some tape. Alright, so start moving, lights will brighten up as you would expect. And that's about it. I'm going to bend down and bring the light up a little bit. It's pretty good visibility, I would say. I mean, I'd feel comfortable riding at night. With this light. Just don't look down, because then you'll lose your night vision. Because you'll be blinded by that that light. You can see it. Pretty bright. Okay, well, I'm not sure how well this is showing up, but I just have to take my word for it that the light's decent for sure. Though I'm pretty sure it'll blind anyone who's coming towards you. That light is blinding you coming from these arrow cutouts in this metal cover. It's so funny. So I'm just going to put a piece of duct tape over that, and that'll be good. Well, I hope you found this video useful. There will be plenty of riding videos coming up. I'll be taking this up in the mountains, all kinds of testing. I think the very next video that I'll be putting out will be a first impressions video with Dawn and Roger, probably a few other folks too. So look for that very soon. All right, guys. Thanks for stopping by, and until next time, safe riding.